Hi everyone, my name is Beba and I'm tuning in from the Flisvos Marina in the southern part of mainland Greece. The marina is around a 5-minute walk from where I live. The general area is called Flisvos and it really is magical. We have the sea, we have the beach, there's a perpetual holiday atmosphere as you can imagine, and it makes it a little bit difficult to work, but with a bit of discipline, everything gets done. I wanted to record this video at the marina because it really is a beautiful space. There's a lot of greenery, there are a lot of restaurants, most of which are not open yet because I think it's around 9:30 or so in the morning. There are quite a few people here, a little more than I anticipated, but everyone is behaving themselves except one guy who's speaking so loudly that I'm absolutely sure you can hear him. Nevertheless, it's all part of life and all part of the general atmosphere. The marina, by the way, is a world-class marina, and I understand the only one in the world that has a 24-hour concierge, which I think means that when we arrive on our yachts, there'll be someone here to greet us at all hours of day or night. And there's also a mini marina, if I can call it that, right at the other side of the marina, where an Amir parks his yacht and he has a helipad and everything. The video is going to go a little bit off script, so please just forgive me for that. Let's continue. I have a PhD in psychology and over 4 decades of research and counseling experience. I'm also an online educator and a published author of multiple books on stress and emotional well-being for women. But these credentials are not the most important thing. The most important thing is that I developed a framework that assists women to navigate stress differently, not by managing it or treating it like the enemy, rather by interpreting it and treating it as a signal about something that requires attention. Much like a fire alarm is not the fire, it's just a signal telling us that something is not right. As for stress, why interpretation? Because we generally do not suffer only because of what is happening to us, but because of our interpretation of the event and what it means beyond the event. I like to take the pith out of things and I try to focus on what I can do and what I can control, rather than on what I cannot do and what is not in my control. And we all know that we cannot control life. We cannot control rough seas, but we can certainly learn to navigate our own boats within those rough seas. I learned to do this when life brought me stretches of emotional quicksand that came within inches of drowning me. Those times were very heavy, terrifying even, but I managed to remain afloat and find steadier ground. And this gave rise to my desire to offer a simple strategy to all women who are dealing with their own versions of quicksand. The Paco Straws Framework for Emotional Stabilization for Everyday Empowered Women was born of real life and real struggle, not in a laboratory or from theory. It came from lived experience and from having spent years listening to and observing how women experience emotional overload and what the consequences are. I like to think I heard and saw their pain and responded accordingly. The broad 3-tier framework began with the means for women to do a personal check-in with their stress levels. It's nothing stress threatening, nothing clinical, just a check-in to see where they are. And from there came tier 1 of the framework for understanding stress through interpretation and pattern recognition. I've learned that when life is heavy, the solution needs to be lighter, which is why the Paco Straws Stress Interpreter Reset was designed to make women who are already struggling feel buoyant, not buried, and in control of their lives, not at the mercy of their stress. Because really, when someone is struggling, she does not need more pressure or a 5-year plan. She needs simple tools to give her oxygen so she can breathe. The Stress Interpreter Reset gives her those tools, and I'm excited that those tools could help women, especially in the world we live in today, with so much uncertainty and instability. We need something solid to hold on to, and usually we have more than enough ourselves to get us through the tough times. We just sometimes need the tools to help bring our strengths to the surface. So, the Paco Straws Framework was built around practical tools, and it offers something that at its heart is very human, a structured opportunity to pause and honestly assess where you are. The Stress Interpreter Reset introduces the broader framework, which is made up of 3 tiers and a bridge, and is made up of the following things. The personal emotional stability check-in, which helps you recognize your current patterns of stress reactions and emotional overload. There are 7 guided modules introducing the core lessons of the Paco Straws Framework in clear, practical, everyday language. There's also a navigator's logbook, which is complete with our proprietary reflection, navigation, and simple stress management tools. There are guided experiential activities, which are light, practical exercises designed to reduce emotional resistance while strengthening our skills. And basically, it's a repeatable framework, a durable structure you can return to whenever life becomes turbulent. What began as a struggle to extract myself from quicksand, to find a way to navigate stress differently, has evolved into quite an educational ecosystem, which includes a YouTube channel, articles on Substack and Medium, and both an English and Greek edition of the framework. At this stage, the Greek edition comprises the English videos with Greek subtitles, and all the documents are in Greek. I'm hoping that when the English edition of Tier II is completed, which should be in the next few weeks, I'll be able to do the Greek edition fully in Greek, and the same for the remaining parts of the framework. This work also includes collaborations, and at the time of recording this, soon a couple of guest appearances on podcasts, and 1 speaking engagement is in the pipeline. The next few slides have a whole bunch of URLs to enable you to find us. Please just have a look through them. Here it all is. The homepage of Everyday Empowered Women, the Emotional Stability Personal Check-in, the link for the Tier 1 Stress Interpreter Reset, and the Greek version of the homepage. Here is the Contact Me link, the link to Amazon and all the books, and then another link for the stress books in particular. Substack, YouTube channel, and Medium. And the collaboration with Retreats in Greece. I really am very, very proud and excited to be collaborating with Retreats in Greece, because a framework is only as good as its reach. And I feel that with Retreats in Greece, which will expand the entire framework, a lot more women will have access to it, as well as to all the beautiful retreats that form part of the Retreats in Greece. I think this is about all I have for you, other than a disclosure, a disclaimer at the end, simply to keep things neat and tidy. Thank you so much for your time.